Goodbye, Mrs. Cord. As soon as you've delivered Mrs. Cord to her destination, you'll go on to the Boston house. And I'd appreciate it if you'd stay on there. I don't know exactly when I'll be coming up, but whenever I do, I'll be needing the car. But if the arrangements aren't satisfactory, you're free to terminate. I'll have Mr. Kennerly discuss that with you.
Yes, madam. Shall I see you to the door?
No, that'll be all right.
Very good, Mrs. Harrington.
Of taking over. You're pushing it, Betty. You're obvious. Now, I like to think that I was never obvious. I pushed. Oh, how I pushed, Martin. But I was never obvious. Not this obvious, anyway.
Look, Hannah, I am very tired. It's been a day and a half already.
You know, I'm fascinated with you, with your whole approach.
Please, Hannah, I'd like you to leave.
You could have gone the other way, you know. You could have been terribly hurt by Martin's death, confused by all the details of the funeral, unable to handle the guests at the services. You could have been a poor, shattered, terribly feminine creature. That would have been the smart way to play it, Betty. In fact, you could have had this whole house swarming with people, trying to comfort you, trying to help you. As it is, there's nobody here but a couple of Martin's cast-offs.
All right. I'm pushing. I'm taking over. And I'm coming on too strong. There now, I've admitted it. Now there's nothing left unsaid, so now you can leave, Hannah.
How much are you dreaming about?
Shall I ask the chauffeur to take you out?
How many millions? Oh, come now, you must have tried to guess.
Oh, do I detect a note of jealousy?
No.
You see, I know Mr. Peyton sent you a check each month. I'm sure that the estate will continue with that policy.
I really don't know. But I'm not worried.
How much did he send you, Hannah?
Enough.
But then you are accustomed to big money.
Martin always saw to it that I got as much ice cream as I wanted. You humiliated Stephen today, and I'll never forgive you for it.
Humiliated him?
He was the oldest grandson. He should have made the arrangements. He should have seated the guests. He should have been the man. He should not have been reduced to pacing up and down the foyer of the chapel like a small boy. I phoned Stephen from the Boston clinic the moment that Martin died. I wanted Stephen to be the first to know so that he could make his own plans, so that it could be his strength, so that he could be the man. Martin Peyton is dead. But I'm very much alive. And I'm going to enjoy watching you take all the wrong options. That necklace. Isn't that Martin's wedding gift to you and Rodney?
Right.
So you rush home and put it on, immediately following the services. Oh, Betty. You give yourself away.
Well, I can dance without the music.
Of course, you all got rhythm.
You have a hard day.
It's getting easier. Where's the hurry? Where you going?
Well, you do want me to get you some dinner, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
You are something.
How'd it go with you today? Get out at all?
Mm-hmm. I went to the market.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost had it all to myself.
Yeah, well, that figures. They were burying Martin Peyton today.
So I heard.
Yeah.
Martin Peyton.
Yeah. Man with millions. Oh, boy. Now tell me, now what could $100,000 have meant to him? Nothing. And it could have done so much for the clinic. I tried to show him, but, he listened all right. He even thumbed politely through the figures, but he wouldn't come up with a dime.
Harry, forget it.
Yeah.
Hey, doesn't anybody eat around here?
That was
Hey,
like
I live.
100 years ago, right?
What was it like 100 years ago? Oh, I see. A big serious time, huh? Well, excuse me, I'll just jump right on back upstairs.
No, it's all right. Nothing private. I'm just a little upset over Martin Peyton, that's all.
Oh, are you in mourning, too?
And what's the matter with you? Well, looks like today's the day to get a little something stirred up.
Yeah, well, there's something to get stirred up about. He felt his money would do more good if it was put into pure research. So he up and gives 3 times what we were asking for to a Dr. Philip Van Leyden.
Harry, you told me Dr. Van Leyden was doing some studies on blood disease. Didn't Peyton have some sort of leukemia? He'd be interested naturally, wouldn't he?
Mama, what are you making excuses for Martin Peyton for?
Hey, easy, easy.
But what is this? Peyton is dead. Why are we kicking him around?
Kicking him around? Well, it was only about a month after he turned us down. We read where he paid $250,000 for a painting for some big museum. Well, why not? It came off his taxes.
When was this?
Oh, 4, 5, 6 years ago.
Is that the reason that the clinic died?
Well, wait a minute. Do I detect a little something underneath there, huh?
No, I just always thought that the clinic died because Dr. Miles pulled out of it.
Lou, that's unfair.
That's what I thought.
Wait a minute. I sweat for that clinic, sweat blood for it. Now, don't you tell me I pulled out. A clinic like that is run on big donations, and you know it, and you got a sharp tongue. I don't like it one bit, so watch it.
Yeah, well, I just like to think that a black doctor should be helping black people and not hovering around Martin Peyton's grandson.
Oh. Oh, you think you got religion while you were in New York?
Yeah, well, a little.
A little. Well, then, in that case, come over here and let me baptize you. Now, you listen to me. I've been a black man much longer than you've been a black boy. Now, you don't want to try for a medical career? Fine. Don't try to tell me how to be a doctor.
I was wondering when you two would get around to the nitty-gritty.
great deal to me.
I want it.
Look, why don't you just sit down for a minute?
There used to be a small library ladder around here somewhere.
There still is. You see?
Thank you, Susan. You've been very helpful.
I would appreciate it if you'd take the painting down now. I'll be waiting in the car.
You've forgotten. It was a gift from grandfather to me. A birthday gift.
No, Stephen, I haven't forgotten.
And you want it anyway.
It was a gesture, Stephen. A gesture from your grandfather that involved his recognition of me much more than a birthday greeting to you. Now, we talked about it. You know that.
Oh, Stephen, take the moldy old painting down.
Why now? Why this minute?
When is the proper time?
Well, that's a little cold, isn't it? Grandfather's hardly left this life.
Oh, Stephen, your grandfather never involved himself in social amenities. In fact, he laughed at them. Now, he'd approve. You think about that.
Stephen, take it down. Perhaps there's a safe hidden behind it.
Mrs. Winters, shut up. Now, your grandfather and I spent many hours together talking about that portrait. About the type of gown I should wear, the necklace, how I should pose. Now, those talks, those hours, they were very exciting for me. Stephen, it's just a painting to you. How can it possibly mean anything else? It's a reminder to me. A reminder of an extraordinary man.
An extraordinary, loaded man.
Stephen, I hope you'll agree with me. I'll be waiting in the car.
Let us put a mustache on it. She was hurt, you know.
Seeing us?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, you're wrong. She could care less about me. About who I spend my evenings with.
Oh, really? Well, any woman who constantly puts a man down, and then when he is down, puts him down again, I'd say that woman still cares.
You know what that means to her? The old man saw her as a replacement for his daughter. My mother. A sort of mistress of the Peyton world. Well, she can have it.
How about the drapes?
Rodney knows how much that portrait means to Betty. And that's exactly what he doesn't need right now.
Preview from the continuing story of...
Painting belongs to me.
If you want your marriage with Rodney to last, you would take this painting and put it in the deepest closet you can find.
Straighten your back.
I can't. If anyone has set a rotten example in this household, it was you. How do you think she felt when she found out the real reason for our divorce?